There are organizations that want to improve, and there are organizations that say they want to improve. There's a big difference between one and the other, and that's the one that takes action. A human-first organization is an organization that is capable of working on these four aspects. Error precursors. Do you know at this moment in your organization what are the error precursors that cause your staff to make mistakes? What is the process affecting your decision making? What are the complex problems currently being faced? What are the cultural indicators of your organization? Well, the typical scenario in Latin America is that a majority, or at least 90% of the organizations, are not effectively addressing these aspects. They don't pass through these elements. These elements don't show up in their management process. Why does this happen in the industry? There are two challenges we are addressing with Human First. One, and very important, is behavioral understanding. Organizations today don't understand how human behavior works. The significant challenge in the current industry is the lack of understanding about the intrinsic nature of human behavior. This issue arises from a limited and frequently shallow perspective on human potential. We are engineers attempting to address a human problem. The second challenge is operational rigidity. How does the industry currently address human performance issues, and what measures are taken to mitigate them? They attempt to resolve everything utilizing a prescription, a procedure, control, and supervision. It's not going to work. I want them to understand this will not achieve the desired improvement as they are focusing on the wrong area. Therefore, here is an update on the ongoing developments in the industry. In the industry, we still have the repetition of similar accidents throughout the years. People don't follow the procedures. There exists a shortage of skills assurance. There is a dearth of communication and feedback from the leaders in the organization. There is resistance to change in the organizational culture of the company. There is an inadequate assessment of risk. There is a lack of involvement and commitment from management regarding security issues and organizational culture. There is a lack of incident reporting and analysis systems. Biased accident investigations are present. They don't get to the real causes. And there is an inefficiency in the communication of lessons learned from past incidents. We have been making the same mistakes for many decades. If any of these points sound familiar to you, it is important that you take a look at Human First. Why do we say this? Here we go again. The reason is that the industry doesn't truly understand human behavior and instead prefers to solve everything with a prescription. So, what is not Human First? Human First is not a magic formula. It is not a long-awaited process. It is not a safety campaign. It is not a purely procedure and regulation-based approach. It is not a temporary or superficial solution. It is not exclusive to top management and involves all levels of the organization. It is not a rigid system. It allows flexibility and adaptation, and it is not a one-size-fits-all solution. It is not a quick fix or a narrow-minded approach. It is not restricted to conventional risk assessment. It is not merely a strategy centered on financial outcomes. And it does not overlook or neglect the complexities and intricacies of human dynamics and behaviors. What is happening? What is Human First? Basically, Human First goes beyond the traditional concept of management. It's not because it's something special, it's because it covers what it needs to cover, which is improving human performance. He doesn't just talk the talk, he walks the walk and delivers tangible results. It's a methodology that is articulated through 7 principles, each one with clearly defined steps. That is how we ensure the transformation is achievable, measurable, and capable of improvement. And something of great importance, Human First is not a pre-packaged product, as I mentioned earlier. We're not here for you to destroy everything you're doing and start from scratch, no. It has been designed to seamlessly integrate with existing management practices in industrial settings. It has the perfect management system. Human First fits perfectly. This approach doesn't conflict with current methods and procedures, but rather aims to be a 100% proactive complement when it comes to human beings, bringing an understanding of the behavioral aspects of the individuals involved. During the diagnostic process of Human First, it's possible to identify opportunities for adjustments or improvements in the existing practices. But here it's important for you to know that the diagnosed organization will decide whether to proceed with the suggested changes or continue with their current practice. But I repeat, he doesn't come to destroy anything. He comes to complement what already exists. The work they are doing, which is well done, just needs to be redirected to attack what it needs to attack. That's why it's important for them to understand some history. In the 60s, the industry realized that to reduce accidents, they had to automate. Then in the 1980s, we began implementing management systems, but we continued to automate. We automated management systems, and it was only in the 2000s that we began discussing the human element. It's crucial to grasp that 2 decades in the industry of nothing means that for 4 or 5 decades we've made the same mistakes by attacking the same problem without understanding human behavior. To achieve our objective, we explored scientific aspects and disciplines that aren't industrial but are vital for understanding human behavior. This enabled us to gain insights and knowledge needed to work with human behavior in a non-industrial context. Anthropology, sociology, psychology, linguistics, and other related disciplines, etc. So what we did with Human First is serve as a means to introduce those concepts to the industry. It's crucial that you all comprehend and utilize this video to disseminate to your audiences, to your organizations, to your colleagues, that we are striving to enhance human performance in order to enhance the organization's performance, but targeting the incorrect area. So based on those concepts that we were able to learn, that we were able to absorb, we created our model, what we call the Eureka moment, because we realized that the key aspect is that the human makes the decision affected by certain issues long before the action. So when the procedure arrives, when the supervision arrives, when the control arrives, it's too late for certain issues, especially when we're talking about critical activities and critical processes, before taking action, after taking action. This is where the industry is today. And I put the human factor here because the human factor has an aspect that is important to understand. The human factor at an industrial level is the interaction between humans and other elements. This interaction occurs after humans have made decisions, and it plays a crucial role in shaping outcomes. So if we're not able to identify precursor error complex problems that we subject ourselves to, how does your decision-making process work and what are the cultural symptoms? That human is going to keep making the same mistakes that we want to correct with procedures, supervision, and controls. That is the precise reason why it has been designated as the Safety First Zone. In relation to every single aspect of improvement that you are currently contemplating, make sure to include the introductory phrase that signifies the decision to take action. The decision is effective and it is on the human first side, indicating the proactive side. The human first process was documented step by step, capturing everything we have done over the years. So we achieved some results by diagnosing organizations in Latin America of different types where there are results. At present, each and every individual in the Latin American industry is facing specific issues that we are currently unable to effectively address, that the industry is not effectively managing. Consequently, they will not be able to achieve the desired improvement because they are focusing on the wrong factor, which hinders their progress. They are making efforts to enhance error precursors like fatigue, rushing, lack of attention, or excessive multitasking through the implementation of a procedure. Are you there? They are attempting to address the issue that either one person or 7 out of 10 individuals tend to make biased decisions or are influenced by appearances, beliefs, group thinking, or hierarchical control. They are trying to solve the fact that a person is going through or living, is coexisting in a context where the complex problems are lack of leadership or excessive simultaneous tasks or offices disconnected from reality. With controls in place, organizations may also focus on resolving cultural challenges, such as a dysfunctional culture. This may involve instances where they adhere to written procedures, or rather verbalize what the procedures state, but act in contradiction to them. So if they truly want to solve the issues they are grappling with, they must transform into a human-centric organization. Right now, 90% of the organizations in Latin America don't manage the elements I showed them 2 seconds ago. There exist 7 fundamental and very simple principles that are based on a fundamental premise. First and foremost, the diagnosis is non-negotiable. Without a diagnosis, it is like shooting bullets aimlessly in the air, lacking direction and purpose. Furthermore, when we lack a comprehensive understanding of human behavior and simultaneously attempt to provide solutions to human problems, it is only natural that the outcome will be predominantly negative and virtually inconsequential. To be a human-first organization, contact us. Let's talk, plan a presentation, and we'll show you how the process works step by step. Follow it without any problem. Greetings and see you soon.